Hello, everybody. So this is going to be going over the nuclear perks beta test for this weekend while I'm out of state. I have finished through the agility tree, and I will actually go down the agility tree toward the end of this video. Basically, if you want to test this, I highly recommend starting a new game from scratch. Like, not a new save game, literally hit new game. I will have some save files when I actually upload the mod for people right at the exit to the vault. But hitting a new game is the best way. If you don't want to and you want to test it with an existing character, I would once again highly recommend my perk reset chem, although it's going to fuck you a little bit. When you get this mod, you get an extra perk every 3 levels after level 9, and you get like an extra 4 perks right off the rip, like perk points as far as special, that counts as well. Excuse me. So if you test it with an existing character, even using my perk reset chem, you'll be missing some perks that you could have had, because it does extend and it does delay shit, so you do want the extra perks because that balances it out. So I highly recommend a new save. Give it a test. Through agility's done, luck isn't done. They're all exactly the same, so you don't even worry about luck if you're going to just help test. Specifically, when you test, keep an eye on things like every time you level up the perk, especially if it's in relation to, a negative and a positive, 80% more damage from punching attacks, negative 20% damage dealt with weapons, that kind of crap. I'm 100% sure that about 90% of this works. The other 10%, I'm like, flip a coin. Because it's kind of I'm pretty more sure than 50-50. There are some little things that caught me, but I've generally tested and kept an eye on every perk as I've gone through this shit. Like I did go down and test everything in agility, and it seems to be working just fine. But it is a Bethesda game. It is modding, so shit could hit the fan real quick. So that being said, the links down below for a Dropbox. Yeah, have fun with it. Let me know how it goes. Let me know what you guys think. The only thing that I know for 100% is going to be changed is the intelligence mastery. I am going to change that intelligence mastery, the last one, to plus 1 intellect and then plus 2.5% experience and damage for every 150 creatures, or 150 animals, people, or robots that you have killed. Synths and turrets will count in the robots, and animals and creatures will count together for the animals. That's somebody's fucking car that sounds like ass outside. What the fuck? Somebody needs to fucking fix their car. So yeah, so that'll add up pretty quick, because it'll look at people are people, synths and robots and turrets will be the same, and animals and creatures will be in the same category. So basically you'll get like a massive fucking damage bonus against some shit. I just noticed that's like sticking out the wrong side because of the way the icon was. Anyway, so let's go down the agility tree real quick. I left this, I left myself without setting myself up to do this, because I wanted to show you that the main base perks have been changed as well, because the mastery removed quick draw. Basically just took it out, because I added weapon draw speed to the base of agility, and I added weapon draw speed to, weapon reload speed 10% on the end of agility. So agility main is just regular agility, 10% what reload weapon speed, like right off the rip. Gunslinger starts at 15, then you get an agility from it, and not on in 25%. 45% range increase, 60%, 10% more accuracy and a chance to disarm, 80%, 50% more range, 20% more accuracy, and negative 20% accuracy with all other weapons. And then 100% more damage, 30% more accuracy, and high disarm chance, 30%, negative 30% damage with all other weapons for the last one on that. So up agility again. The next one is 5% more reload weapon speed, and then 6, and then 5% more move speed on the last one. I think there's one more after that, actually. Yeah, there is. Commando starts again at 15, 25, and then 10% increased hipfire accuracy, 45, 20% hipfire accuracy, 65, and 10% higher critical chance. 80% damage and slight stagger chance, negative 1 endurance when wielding an automatic weapon, because it jars the shit out of you. 100% damage and high stagger chance, and 15% critical strike chance with automatic weapons, negative 30% damage with all other weapons. Let's go up here and test this one real quick. So it's 1, and then there we go. That's right. I knew there was another movement speed on the, or another reload speed on this sucker. Sorry, I had a cough. So you get 20% reload speed on the agility tree, like straight off the rip. Sneak, I don't think I changed much. I think I added 1 agility for the second one, and then the rest of Sneak, I believe, stayed exactly the same. I didn't have a problem with Sneak. Mr. Sandman, I did change a little bit. 15% sneak attack damage, 30%, 50%, and then I added 1 at the end, which is 100% more sneak attack damage. Lose 5% movement speed, lose 10% damage with non-silenced weapons. That's just a static 5% loss and 10% loss with non-silenced weapons. Action Boy, I only added 1 to the end, which is your action points now regenerate 75% faster. I didn't see any reason to really fuck with that. Moving Target. Hold on. Now, Moving Target I actually did a big revamp on, because Moving Target only took effect when you were sprinting. So what I did was I changed Moving Target to affect you when you're moving. Just normal moving. As long as you're not standing still, this goes into effect. Hence why it has a reduction in what it did, because it had a lot more damage resist when you're sprinting, because you can't do anything when you're sprinting besides running. So you get 10 damage resist when moving, and plus 2% movement speed for the base. 15 damage resist, and a 5% critical chance, and 5% more damage while moving. Sprinting costs 50% for your action points, plus 20% damage while moving, negative 10% damage while standing still, and then 25% damage, 10% accuracy, and 30 damage resist when moving, plus 5% more move speed. It's on top of the other one. Negative 25% damage when standing still, and then the last one is 35% damage, 20% accuracy, 40 damage resist when moving, negative 35% damage and accuracy when standing still. So this one kind of fucks like snipers and shit. So that one was kind of fun. Alright, the Mastery was a fun one too. So the Mastery, I need to change this rank 1 perk, by the way. I'm going to add 10% reload speed as well. It has 1 agility, 3% critical hit chance, and 10% critical hit damage with all weapons. That's 10% more critical hit damage, so that will multiply on better criticals as well. Second one is 1 agility and plus 15% move speed while sneaking. I'm probably going to add reload 10%, 10% onto this, so there'll be a 10%, 10% for the first 2. Since you can only take, once again, as it doesn't know, you can only take up to 5 total mastery points across the board. I might up it to 7. I'm going to get some feedback on that. But the end perks are pretty good. So the end one is 3 agility, 10% move and reload speed, plus 5% more crit chance, 5% chance to dodge attacks, negative 1 perception and strength. I don't know. The strength kind of made sense a little bit more, but I just had to have some sort of a negative. I think Ninja's the only one I changed. Blitz. Oh, Blitz, I added 1 more perk to the end and made it level 37. It basically increases the thing another 50% on top of the last one. So, and same thing with damage. So that one's kind of interesting. Gunfu stayed exactly the same. And Ninja I drew out, basically. Because Ninja was really strong. So I wanted to kind of draw this one out a little bit more, and it adds more perk points, obviously, to get up to where you want it to be. And it's consistent with me adding more perk points that you get as you level up. So it basically just goes 2.5, 2.75, 2.754, 3.6, 3.258, 3.510, and then 4.12. So you actually get a better at the far end, and there's no negatives on this tree. This one just stays going up. So there you go. That's this one. As far as all of them go, this is going to be a fun YouTube page, depending on how many people are testing, or the Reddit. Just give feedback. Just go for it. Like, fucking, you don't like something, you think this is stupid, you think it's too much of a nerf, etc. All the way down the line with all of these, it's this one falls into line with most of them. 16. Oh, I didn't take the end. I was like, should have been 19. There, because you can always go 3 past the top, even though you can't see the stars. So 19. It is geared toward end-to-end gameplay. If you specialize totally in one tree, you can get anywhere from 16 to 22 if you have everything in there, which gives you a lot of AP if you look down there on the bottom right, which makes this a really nasty build for AP, which is fun. Uh, yeah. There'll probably be some tweaks. There'll probably be some nerfs to shit. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, the drawing it out by requiring 20 points spent in the trees is nerfing. You know, it goes from 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 15, 20, 20. That's how it goes at the end of these trees. That keeps you from maxing out a stat really fast without spending the appropriate points inside the tree, which then nerfs you from, you know, just beelining up another fucking stat really fast. So it's kind of forcing people into a specialized trait, whereas every one of them will be at like 4 almost right off the rip because you kind of are almost forced into it unless you want to do other shit. Which kind of helps. It keeps your character a little bit balanced at the start, and then you start really specializing as the game goes on. So, I don't know. I find it fun. Masteries can only be hit once you hit level 50, then 60, then 70. So basically masteries end up like, you know, being game changers at 50, 60, at 70. That's why I think I might up the masteries to 7 points total being able to be spent. And I might give you all 7 of those. Like, I might actually give you a bunch of extra ones at 50, 60, and 70 if I think about it. So yeah, throw any thoughts you guys got, throw any ideas, any changes, especially if you see bugs. For the love of God, just start your post with a capital B-U-G, but be detailed. Like, you have to be detailed. You can't just apply 20 perks and then say something fucked up and I don't know what, and here's the 20 perks. Well, fuck it. I could probably find it, but that's gonna be a bitch. So try to actually be specific and check this shit out. I will most likely finish that luck tree on Monday when I'm back home. And then Monday or Tuesday release this sucker out in the open. And then all hell will break loose when everybody fucks with shit and I have no idea what's going on, that kind of crap. There are still level requirements. I like level requirements. I don't like people being able to just, like, fucking blast through something right away. That's just my personal feelings. I figure somebody will come along and modify it and take away all level requirements. It's not hard. That's all I got. Have fun with it, guys.